Hi everyone, it's me again. We are wrapping up our third week of Proverbs, going into our fourth week of our May Proverbs Challenge, which is super exciting. I hope you have all been keeping up. If you remember, last week was the prompt about a strong tower, and this week's prompt kind of goes along with it. We didn't actually get any submissions last week, but my mom did one this morning that I thought was pretty awesome. So she used two verses. The first one, the lamp of the Lord searches the spirit of a man. So this is the lamp of the Lord, and they're in sort of like the depths of a castle, and this is a man fishing for purposes. And the verse that she used for that was, the purposes of a person's heart are deep waters, but one who has insight draws them out. I thought that was super cool imagery for these two verses. So this week we have a verse that kind of goes along with the strong tower and even the night thing from the first week. It is found in Proverbs 30, verse 5. It says, every word of God is flawless. He is a shield to those who take refuge in him. So if you can guess, we are going to be drawing shields this week. This is kind of a stereotypical shield that a knight would use, and then this is Captain America's shield, because, you know, everyone loves Captain America. And here's a space for you to draw your very own shield that you would take refuge in. So, this week, if you don't want to do a drawing prompt, that is perfectly fine. I encourage you to do something, though, whether it be writing a poem or memorizing a verse. You can always film something like that and send it in. You could do a little skit. You can do anything. And I will remind you that this isn't just for kids. This is for adults too. So if I get nothing next week, I'm going to be really disappointed in all of you. So keep reading Proverbs. Keep up with all of the daily readings and really dive in, because this is a good learning experience for all of us. Have a great week, and I will see you later. Bye.
Good morning, Northwest. Thank you, Anna, for that. We are always encouraged by all the words that you've given us. Thank you very much. If you recall, we are still in Proverbs, 31 days in May, 31 Proverbs. We are continuing in this challenge. Aaron, how has your week been in Proverbs?
Good morning, Terry. Yes, it's been a good week. And, you know, there was so much that jumped out at me this week. It was really hard for me to choose, what to talk about. Because really I could talk about this for hours.
Hours and hours and hours.
Hours and hours and hours. But since we know that our the attention span of our audience is really just about 14 minutes, I think I just need to pick one.
Right. Perfect.
So I picked. So I'm going with peace and harmony in the home. Peace and harmony. You know, we've all been cooped up, for about the last 2.5 months. And it's been tough on people. It's been, the routines have been so different. We've been spending so much more time with our families where we normally get a break or able to go outside and kind of de-stress. But it's really causing a lot of discord. It's causing stress. It's causing unusual aspects within our homes. And I think, where we've lost a little bit of our peace and harmony. It's something that we really need to work on. And it's something that was in the 7 chapters that we looked at this week in Proverbs.
Perfect. I was just telling Teresa the other day, we have been cooped up. We've been quarantined. But I said, Teresa, it's just so nice for me to have someone that I love, someone that I care about, someone that I trust and can have fun with, to be quarantined with. And she looked at me and said, must be nice.
That's right. Must be nice. I'm glad. Yes, at least you've got the nice, calm person.
Exactly.
And it's, not all of us live with someone. Some of us that'll be listening today are alone. Mm-hmm. But, extrapolate it to how you deal with the people on the phone and how you dealt with people before. We all, in stressful situations, react to people differently. And some of us are in it right now, and some of us will be in it when we get back to life as normal.
Right.
So anyway, I wanted to lay out a bunch of verses this week. So I'm going to jump in and I'm going to read through these. So first of all, 17:1, better a dry crust of bread with peace and quiet than a house full of feasting with strife. Mm-hmm. Verse 14, starting a quarrel is like breaching a dam, so drop the matter before a dispute breaks out. 18. That is a good one. 18:21, the tongue has the power of life and death. 19:13, a foolish son is the father's ruin, and a quarrelsome wife is like a constant dripping. Drip, drip, drip.
Right.
From Proverbs 20:11, even a child is known by his actions, whether his conduct is pure and right. 21:9, better to live on the corner of the roof than share a house with a quarrelsome wife. Finally, from 21:19, better to live in a desert than with a quarrelsome and ill-tempered wife. Now, I must say, don't focus on the wife part right away.
Well, I was.
You were, I know. I appreciate that. But as we've talked through Proverbs, there's a principle in a lot of these. And while they may refer to, wisdom as a she or the adulteress as a she, or in this case, the quarrelsome wife, it's really much bigger than that. So don't get caught up in that, because we could say it this way: better to live in a smelly garage than with a contentious and moody husband.
Oh, very true. Very true. I like that analogy.
Yeah, because I think some of our wives or children may do the same thing about us. And so we need to make sure that we're applying this, consistently across, our male and female population. So I guess the question is, how are you behaving? Are you living to ensure peace and harmony within your family unit? Are you really trying your best with God's help to be the peace and harmony within your home?
Yeah, it seems like sometimes our peace gas tank runs out, and our harmony gas tank, we run on fumes sometimes because of the way we feel about something, or a situation that we've had, or somebody said something that just triggered us and set us off. So sometimes we run on empty on those things, and we just need to find ways to refill them.
That's right. And a lot of times when we're not filling it with God's wisdom or God's power, we run out of, that empty comes very quickly, and
Right.
will continue to fill us as he is in our lives. But yeah, if it's just our own power, we hit empty pretty quick.
Right. Or we try to fill it with social media, or with television, or with, things that aren't in the direction of God's wisdom. Then we just make it worse.
Absolutely. And if we just look at the themes from this week in Proverbs, I mean, it talked about a friend loves, living with a cheerful heart, being a discerning man, being men of understanding, humility before honor, discipline, bringing hope, listening to advice, and working with a purpose. There's this nice balance of warnings and hope that is a part of Proverbs, and it's really nice to hear. So maybe we can be some of those other topics rather than just being that quarrelsome or nagging person, within your home, to bring peace and harmony. So how have you promoted, peace and harmony in your world with this week, either being directly with your family or even outside? Have you calmed the situation? Have you posted something just to stir people up?
Right.
It's not always just about your specific family. It's about the bigger world you interact with. So how exactly are you, being that peace and harmony in our world? Last week we talked about wisdom calling, and are we actually answering? And this has been repeated a number of times within Proverbs, and it's included this week in chapter 23, verse 26. My child, give me your heart and let your eyes keep to my ways. Again, this is Proverbs. It's the wisdom calling out. If you give me your heart and you keep your eyes upon me, I will be there for you, and I will guide you, and I will help you through its power, to be that peace and harmony. And this is something I have to work on in my family as well. It's very important to this time when we are home 24 hours a day together to ensure that we are creating peace and harmony for our family. So
Right.
How about you? How are you folks actually doing with your peace and harmony?
Right. Yeah. Sometimes it's just as simple. That's a great question. But sometimes it's just as simple to say, well, I kept quiet. Right. Maybe sometimes that's what I need to do, is keep quiet, rather than throw gasoline on this quarrel, or, incite someone, or, like you said, post something or say something just to make someone mad. Sometimes
That's right.
keeping quiet is sufficient. Difficult
That's right.
sometimes, but sufficient.
Yeah, because that one verse we looked at, like starting a quarrel is like breaching a dam.
Right.
A dam breach in Michigan did this week, and You can't put it back once it's out.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's a great point, Aaron. I really like the way you characterized that. The verses that you had that summarized it, the themes that we have from Proverbs, those are wonderful, right? We just need to pay attention to them. And that ties in a little bit to my point. I had a very short point also. My point was that Proverbs isn't hard. Sometimes that so many things that we turn into a mountain into our lives that don't need to be mountains or aren't mountains normally. And then we exhaust ourselves thinking about it. And when you look through Proverbs, it's not insurmountable. It's not a mountain. They're just small choices that we make every day to work more toward absorbing God's wisdom in our lives. And he's not asking us to scale a mountain. He's asking us just to follow some of these very simple principles that he repeats over and over in different ways for different circumstances, enough so that if you read a proverb a day, you'll find something in there for you that applies to your situation if you let your heart do it. He's challenges us with verses like these. I picked out a couple of also. 18:15, the heart of the discerning acquires knowledge, for the ears of the wise seek it out. 19:8, the one who gets wisdom loves life. The one who cherishes understanding will soon prosper. 19:23, the fear of the Lord leads to life, then one rests content, untouched by trouble. Look at this one, Proverbs 20:18 from New Living Translation. Plans succeed through good counsel. Don't go to war without wise advice. These things are not difficult, right? But we just need to put them into practice. 21:3, to do what is right and just is more acceptable to the Lord than sacrifice. 22:11, one who loves a pure heart and who speaks with grace will have the king for a friend. 23:12, apply your heart to instruction, your ears to words of knowledge. What do we choose? We make a choice every time we read through Proverbs or choose not to read through Proverbs. I hope everybody's following along this month.
Absolutely.
We make a choice. Do we choose wisdom or folly? Do we choose hot-tempered or patient, sluggard or upright? Do we choose sense or nonsense? Do we choose him and his words, or do we choose ourselves? Admittedly, it may feel difficult, not a mountain, but it may feel difficult. But sometimes verses like this are challenging to us, like we had just talked about. Even fools are thought wise if they keep silent, and discerning if they hold their tongues, from 17:28. Sometimes it is difficult to keep silent, right? To sit on our hands and to bite our tongues and not say anything. But it's not a mountain. It's not insurmountable. It's not that difficult.
Because I like the way you're putting this. A lot of times it's putting one foot in front of the other, right? These are small steps, small bite-sized understandings that if we just keep walking with them, we're going to get somewhere. It's not climbing a mountain on every one of them.
Exactly. Absolutely. Even this one, right? It's a reminder, 18:13, if one gives an answer before he hears, it is his folly and shame. How many times do we give an answer before someone is done talking, before we've heard both sides of the story? How many times are we listening? We're not really listening. We're just waiting to jump in, right? When someone takes a breath because we have something to offer.
Yes.
We choose to put ourselves and our words and our wants and our priorities and our prosperity over the words of God or the prosperity of others. That we just make it hard on ourselves and on other people, right? And it boils down to a choice. We have a choice. We have a choice to accept these proverbs and to try to live them out, or we can choose ourselves. But it's not a mountain either way, right? God puts it in front of us and he just says, hey, you choose. This is not that hard. The simple, the plain, the right and true, the knowledge, the wisdom, and simply love. Those are our choices, not a mountain that we might make it into.
That's right. And I know sometimes we get overwhelmed with the number of choices that seem to be out there. But again, it's the next right choice. Which path are you going to go on? Where is your next step? You keep focused on that, and I think life becomes a lot simpler, as you said. And this is, you're telling us that Proverbs isn't, too complex, that we can figure this out by really spending time with it. And yes, it is just about that next step. This is a great reminder.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Aaron, that's our Proverbs summary for the week. I hope everyone's having a great week and looking forward to a great week in Proverbs next week.
Yeah, we're down to our last full week, so we encourage people to stay involved, keep reading, keep interacting with us through Facebook and the church website and email, and it's a good learning experience for all of us, and I hope we can grab onto wisdom and apply it to our lives.
Absolutely, and do those activities and send them to Anna.
That's right. We look forward to it.
We'll see you next time.
Hey, thanks, Terry. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Aaron. See ya.